HIV/AIDS infection. And 50% or 20 million of those cases are women. 10% of the currently known cases were discovered in 2005 alone. 820,000 of those 4.1 million cases discovered in 2005 were young people between the ages of 15 and 24. Let me tell you something. Because of these statistics, I'm saying again, go get tested. Get your children tested. Because if you don't know, you can't do nothing about it. And for those between the ages of 13 and 19, more than 50%, watch this, more than 50% of those discovered in 2005, between the ages of 13 and 19, more than 50% of them were young ladies. Yet, 28% of males and 20% of females report having unprotected sex with a person who was not a regular sex partner. And 44% of all adults married or single engage in one-night stands, even with those statistics. Because we don't discuss sexuality enough, there are now 25 different sexually transmitted diseases, several of which are incurable. And according to studies, more than 1 million people are being infected daily. More than 1 million people are being infected by some form of sexually transmitted disease on a daily basis. Of those 1 million, watch this, 90% of the people being infected on a daily basis are between the ages of 14 and 25. Wow. The most common sexually transmitted disease, HPV, or the human papillomavirus, is both incurable and unpreventable through the use of condoms. Additionally, it is the leading cause of cervical cancer among young women ages 17 through 25. Because we don't talk about sexuality enough, there are approximately 1 million teenage pregnancies every year in America. More than 60% of those pregnancies, watch this, are fathered by men ages 25 and older. Our silence concerning sexuality has produced a nation of people who will, by the year 2012, will be 50 to 60% infected if something is not done to reverse the statistics. However, I submit to you that we cannot just change this just by knowledge alone, because the knowledge of the crisis is based on historical behavior. But in order to effectively engage the crisis, we must enact current corrections. Let me say that again. Knowledge of the crisis alone cannot help us resolve the issue that we're dealing with in America, because knowledge is based upon the past behavior. But if we are going to empower people, we have to enact current corrections. And as I'm standing here today, I understand that statistically, even though I'm speaking of this and giving words of life to empower you, only 30 to 40% of you in here today will really make a decision to change your behavior. But if I can empower 30 to 40% of you in here today to change the behavior that is leading to a 50% infected environment, I have already begun a revolution. Can somebody say this? Whoop, whoop. I've already started a revolution. Even if I only reach 2 of you in here on today, if my efforts are duplicated for a period of 20 days, meaning that I empower 2 of you, and then the 2 of you go out and empower 2 more. And that multiplicity is repeated throughout 20 days. You check that? Okay. Now, this in turn would decrease the rate of infection by 1%. But that's only if I did it for 20 days. Watch this. If the same revolution continues for 30 days, well, every 2 go and get 2 more and empower 2 more. If that same revolution is repeated for 30 days, I will have impacted more than 1 billion people. That means that this one message today has the ability to change the lives of 300 million people in America and then some. And so as I'm preaching to you today, I'm going to be preaching like I'm preaching to 1 billion people over the next 30 days. And I'm empowering you to change this epidemic that we see here in America. I wish I had somebody that wanted a revolution. Do you want a revolution? Can I get somebody to say, right? Okay. Now, we have to understand that we are dealing with a kingdom of freaky behavior that I like to call freedom. And we are moving from freedom to the kingdom. Now, according to Colossians chapter 3, verse 5, there are 5 major components in freedom. Okay, let's go there real quick. Colossians chapter 3, verse 5. He begins to list them. He says there is fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. We'll deal with the last one, but these 5, watch this, all of them have to do with ungodly sexual behavior. Okay. All of them have to do with wrong outlook on sex. But before I go into freedom, I need to let you know one thing. Go back and remind you of something. When God created sex, God said that sex was good. Okay. Not only did he say it was good, he said it was very good. So sex is very good. And when God created it, he created it to be a unique and exhilarating experience between a man and his wife. Not a man and his hoochie, not a man and his freak, but a man and his wife. Not a man and another man, but a man and his wife. And when these two began to culminate their relationship, they are now able to produce and multiply and bring forth a godly heritage. That's what God created it for. So it was not only able to produce, but it was also able to give pleasure. Can I get an amen on that? Okay, I know you may not have done it in the right context, but you know it was good. Hey, come on, somebody. All right, now when you talk about freedom, you have 5 different categories that are listed in Colossians chapter 3, verse 5. The first one you have is fornication. Now, traditionally, we have looked at the word fornication and have believed that it only had to do with having sex outside of a marriage relationship. But really, fornication, it has a broad context, because fornication comes from the Greek word porneia. It means indulging in unlawful sexual activity. This includes premarital sex, yes, but it also includes prostitution and whorishness. It includes adultery, homosexuality, and lesbianism. Okay, and that is fornication. Fornication, once again, comes from the Greek word porneia, the same word from which we get our English word pornography. Okay, and then there is uncleanness. The word uncleanness comes from the Greek word akatharsia, A-K-A-T-H-A-R-S-I-A. Akatharsia, cathartic, which means to purge or to clean. A, before any word in the Greek language or English language, it means to be without. So akatharsia means without cleanness. And it deals with the thought and the disposition of the individual. So this includes any kind of sexual perversion, which includes voyeurism, exhibitionism, perverted speech, with people